If I could have your attention, I'm going to go ahead and get started with today's ceremony. First of all, I want to thank everybody for coming out today, this afternoon. Under normal circumstances, we would have done this pretty quickly right after the season and would have had a nice meal to go with it, but due to COVID, we had to make an adjustment. Original plan was to stay outside, but obviously with the weather coming in, that's not possible either. So if there's anything we've learned from this year, it's adapt, and then adapt to that plan, and then re-adapt to the next plan, and just keep making changes as they come at you. And I do want to say I think these kids did a tremendous job this year of adapting and overcoming. I want to give you a little bit of a timeline just to kind of remind everybody how it went, and maybe give you perspective you didn't realize. We had no dead period this year, and that's the first time we have not had a dead period in my coaching years, and I've been coaching since 1995, so they took that away from us, so the kids didn't get a normal break like they normally would have. So the season was more of a grind than it ever has been. I know it was on our coaching staff, because we were asking them to come every day for months, literally months longer than a normal season would go. We had to do all the temperature checks that you remember, masks, bring your own water. There was just a lot of extra burdens brought onto this season. And these kids came through and answered the call every week, did the best they could. We actually got a shout out from the governor after the first game of the season on how well we were obeying protocol and doing the right thing. And that was a testament to these young men for following the directions and doing the right thing. And I really do appreciate this. Although we didn't have a tremendous season in terms of wins and losses, I don't necessarily look at great seasons that way because sometimes that's not up to you. Your opponent makes a big difference. Injuries make a big difference. You know, how well the kids play a lot of times is about the only thing that matters. But what I do look for in a successful season is, did we have turmoil on the team? Did we all get along? Did we learn something? Did we grow up? Did we get better? Did the kids enjoy it? And 100% I can say yes. We had a successful season. When we came back from Harlan County, I saw a group of kids who were hugging on each other, still loving each other, still getting along. And I've had teams that won games that didn't like each other. And it's kind of frustrating as a coach because it's not really what I want it to be about. I want them to have fun. I want them to learn something. I want them to grow up to be responsible young men. And I want them to be a team. And this was definitely a team. They were very thick, and lots of friendships were made, and I hope those last a lot longer than any of the wins and losses we had on the season. When we got through what would have been dead period, we had to crank it up and finally get to practice, and we literally were waiting on decisions week by week. I can remember anxiously checking my phone like every minute just to see if we were going to get to play. I had people that were asking me on a daily basis, are we even going to get to play? There was some horrible internet rumors going around that really, really frustrated me. People were throwing out allegations with no scientific background, no expertise, no inside knowledge. I had one player call me literally crying, thinking the season wasn't going to happen. And I knew that we were going to play at the time, and it really frustrated me. So there was a lot more that goes on than what you even saw out there. So the first week we were allowed to practice. We were allowed to only practice for a total of 7.5 hours. We would normally have 7.5 hours done by the first hour of Wednesday's practice if we went Monday through Friday. And we were only allowed to go 7.5 for 5 days. So for a group of kids who came out there every day and did nothing but run, because that's all they let us do, to try to get a football team together with 1 week of preparation for 7.5 hours was not a lot. Then they gave us full pads and said you can start padding them up, and we were allowed to go for 3 hours, and we had to go crash course. And I don't know if any of you have ever tried to take a remedial course where you try to make up a credit, but that's about what it was like. We were trying to learn everything we could, any chance we can. And these kids showed up every day and learned and tried as hard as they possibly could. I was very impressed and very pleased with their effort. Then we had 1 week of game preparation, and then we opened the season, with which we didn't know at the time. We knew they were going to be good, but we played the state champion in the very first game of the season. I don't know if you all knew that or followed it or not, but Paintsville High School wound up winning the Class A state championship this year. So we didn't get to open up with a soft opener or a cupcake, as you'd say. We played well. Obviously, I mentioned injuries earlier that kind of took some of that away from us. But our kids played as well as they could, and I was very proud of their effort. In the second game of the season, we played a team that could have won the state championship, and they actually beat Paintsville in the regular season in Raceland. And our lone win came against a very, very good football team, and I was very excited. And at the end of that game, we had a few injuries that really, really set us back. And we had them on both sides of the ball, offensively and defensively, and we just never did recover. That was nobody's fault. That was just the facts of kind of what happened throughout the season. But our kids came with a great effort and kept coming back to practice every day and just loving it. I think they enjoyed every moment, more so maybe than any other season, because of the not knowing whether we were actually going to get to play. I think that for once, kids went into the season and thought maybe this is it. Maybe this is our last game. Then we had the makeup games we were trying to schedule. We still didn't get to play Woodford County. We haven't played them yet. That game never did happen. Literally on the field, lightninged out. The next week they called us on Thursday after practice is over and said we can't play. I hope to never be a part of anything like that again. Then we had to struggle to find a game. I got a phone call from Great Crossing that said if on Thursday afternoon you guys are in the red, we can't play. So I had to make a decision right then. Do I just cancel this game and just say the heck with it and try to find somebody else, or do I wait till we get some random number from a government website on Thursday afternoon, and then if the number's too high and they cancel, the season's over? I had to make the call, and so I thought, I want these kids to play one more football game, because at that point we already knew we weren't going to make the playoffs. So I made that decision, because I wanted these kids to finish that season on the field, playing one more game. True story. As soon as I got off the phone with Great Crossing and canceled, I called North Laurel. They were looking for a game. North Laurel's coach is a real good friend of mine. Coach and staff spent the weekend preparing for North Laurel. We get a phone call at 10 o'clock Monday morning. Their coach said that they've been shut down for the week. Superintendents and everybody home, no athletic events. So I've gone from Great Crossing and having prepared for them to canceling that, to preparing for North Laurel, to 10:30 in the morning on Monday. I still don't know who we're going to play. I don't know if we're going to play. So Monday afternoon, we're working, trying to call everybody we can. I get a phone call from Marion County. They said, we'll play you. So for about 3 hours, we think we're going to play Marion. We went to Monday afternoon's practice not knowing who we were going to play. Marion calls me back Tuesday morning and says we can't play. I finally get a hold of Harlan County, and by Tuesday afternoon, we decided we're going to play Harlan County. So we got Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday. And we've got to drive for what seemed like 6.5 hours one direction. We get there, we're late, they make us park up on a hill, we have to dress at the school, then get back on the bus, then drop down the hill. We get on the field, they've got like 15 minutes to go before the kickoff. I asked them if they'll move the time back, and they said, sure, we'll give you 15 more minutes. So we take the field, they have youth night, they make us get off the field, then they land a helicopter, make us get off the field again, and then they say, you got 5 minutes, captains are out, let's play. I don't know. We did the best we could. That's not an easy situation. Nothing I gave you there has ever happened to me in all my years of coaching. But our kids played admirably. We didn't get any breaks. But that was the kind of season it was. And I just want everybody to know that if there's any one year that I'm really not going to look at that win-loss record, I'm going to look at how happy we were coming home. And I just was really, really proud of these kids this season. So we made it through. We didn't have any COVID outbreaks. We didn't have anybody take us down or get it. The kids followed the rules and did everything they were, and for that I'm very thankful. And I want to thank you parents for following those guidelines and helping us make that happen. I want to take this opportunity to thank some people that were behind the scenes before I talk about the players. I want to thank our administration, Chris Hubble, our principal, Michael James, our athletic director. They did a great job of making sure that we had what we needed. The bus garage always helps us out to the best of their ability, getting us buses. And this year it was, hey, we're going to Great Crossing. No, we're going to North Laurel site. We're going to Harlan County, and I need 3 buses, and we got to have them here by Friday. So I really do appreciate those people. I want to thank our Board of Education for our wonderful facilities. This was supposed to be the first year that we really got to enjoy them all the way through. And of course that didn't happen. We got to play on the field last year in the 2019 season, but we didn't get it to right before the season started. But I do want to thank our board for providing these kids a great place to play with a much better setting than we used to have. I want to thank Chelsea. Schweitzer, our trainer, for doing a magnificent job. You boys need to give her a round of applause for all the learning she did this year. I want to thank my wife for being our statistician. All you seniors will get a packet today of all your statistics from the season. It'll be already included in your little bag. So I appreciate everything she does for me on and off the field and allowed me to be a coach. I want to thank our coaching staff for lots and lots and lots of hours this year with no dead period, as I mentioned earlier. And we had to grind and work just like we always work. So weekend meetings, after practice meetings, film meetings, all that stuff, it still had to happen. And I really appreciate all of our coaches and everything they did, going above and beyond. A couple of these guys that you see up here didn't make a dime this year and just did it for the betterment of our program and the love of these kids. I want to thank all of our sponsors. There's too many to name, but if you were in any way, shape, or form in charge of sponsoring our team this year, I really do appreciate it. I want to thank Angela, our Booster Club president, for all the things she's done for the last couple of years. She has been 4 years, she said. She's given me 4 fingers there. I lose track as it kind of flies by. But I do really appreciate everything you've done. She stepped up and gone above and beyond. And what a year to be Booster Club president. I mean, it's just been nuts. Every time we turned around, something's changed. And she would always just kind of laugh and say, all right, let's do this. And so I really appreciate that. The will to be able to bend and move and keep on going forward. I want to thank all the Booster Club members that stepped up to the table this year and helped feed the boys when we needed to, get everything done. I know normally concessions is a big deal, but that wasn't necessarily a big priority this year. But I do want to thank those people for helping every way they could. The chain gang, PA announcers, clock operators, all those people that make the game actually happen. Sometimes they get forgotten and don't ever wind up getting thanked, but I do want to thank them for all that they've done. And if anybody else was a part of this program that did something above and beyond, if I forgot you, I do apologize, but just know that it is very much appreciated because this is a big, big task. 5A football, with the many kids we have playing football, is a big undertaking. We have more players on our team than I think any 2 other sports in the school combined. So we've got a lot of numbers, lots of equipment. We have more equipment than probably all the other sports combined. So we've got a lot to undertake, and I really do appreciate everybody's effort. All right, with that said, I'm going to go ahead and get started talking about the players. Are there any freshmen here? I think I saw one. Come on up. If you're a freshman, come on, you're going to stand right here in front of me. Come on, Talon. You guys are just going to stand right here in front of Coach Watts. Y'all can rock, paper, scissors, see who goes first. I don't care. Stand right over there, Tal. You want to go first? Well, don't put your back to the crowd. Turn around. Step right over here. And I'm going to talk about you. Your red shirt. All right, our first player here, Matthew Hager. Matthew played offensive line, defensive line for us this year. And really had a great season on Monday nights, what we like to call Monday Night Football. It's a little bit better than saying JV. He was a very impactful player on both sides and has a really bright future. We're looking at Matthew possibly being a starter this year, continue to keep him in the weight room, keep getting stronger. But been a real pleasure to coach, really plays with an aggressive streak that you just can't coach, and looking forward to a great season next year out of him. Matthew Hager. Talon McDonald. Talon played wide receiver. That was his main position, played a little bit of defensive back for us. But we had a really good JV season once the JV guys kind of figured it out. And I do want to give a hats off to our JV staff. Coach Corey Kenning's not here today. He's in Detroit visiting his family for the weekend. I think his brother just had a new baby. So he sends his best, and he's usually always here, but he did a great job. But Coach Lang was our defensive coordinator for our JV, and Coach Wilkes was a first-year coach. Both those guys were first-year coaches on our staff. They did an amazing job with the defense, with the offensive line, and I just saw a continuous progression of improvement. And Talon was one of those guys that got better every week. They come out there and they're still kind of middle school minded. but Talon kind of saw the light at the end of the season and started getting better. That's when we started winning games. Our team improved, our mindset improved, and we got better. This guy worked hard every day. I think he's a football junkie. We got to get him back in the weight room and keep getting him stronger. But he's definitely got a bright future for us because I think he loves it. Talon McDonald. You guys can see it. Got any sophomores? Go face that way. See where everybody's at? Yep, put your back. Stay right here. Literally stay right here. All right, our first sophomore is Raymond Tanukapua. Got it as best I could. We call him affectionately Raymond. Raymond is what you would call a raw football player. I don't know that he's got a lot of background in playing football, but he makes up for it with a wonderful work ethic. And I saw a light kind of click this offseason. Of course, we're already through most of the offseason now, where we normally at this banquet would be standing here getting ready for it. But Raymond grew up a lot. He's got a great frame, and as the season went on, I just continuously saw him getting better. Our coaches are super excited about him, and every day that we can practice, we want to see what Raymond's done, because we really feel like he's got some big shoes to fill from these guys we're losing, and he's got the right mindset and the athletic ability to do it. And one thing I love about Raymond is he's always got a great attitude. He just comes in and goes to work every day, never complains, and gets right at it. And the sky's the limit for this guy. I can't wait to see what he looks like this fall on the football field. Raymond Tanukapua. All right, Jonathan Bourne. I had John in class as a freshman. We talked about playing some football, and he kind of took me up on the offer. Came out, and you talk about another guy that works at it, gets after it every day. He's been doing a great job lifting before school starts in our weight program. Offensive and defensive lineman. Learning curve was there this year because he had to play some JV football, which that's what everybody does. But I saw a lot of improvement from day one, from getting him in a stance and being aggressive to coming off the ball to learning the plays. There's just a natural progression each of these kids have to go through. But this guy's going to give you everything he's got, shows up every day, workman-like attitude, and gets after it. I can't wait to coach him again. Jonathan Bourne. Houston Bird, I mentioned earlier we had some injuries throughout the year, and you can see that we don't have many guys this size, but Houston battled a back problem most all of the season. We only got him for a very limited amount. But Houston, since he's been here, when he's actually out there, can be one of the most dominant players we've ever had here. Not just now, but ever, as far as what he does with blocking and getting rid of blockers on the defensive side of the ball. Plays offensive and defensive line, obviously. And if we can get his back straight, I think he could be a huge help this year. Would have definitely been a huge help this year had he not been injured. That wasn't his fault. But he's done everything he can to get rehab. He's another one that's lifting in the mornings right now and doing a great job. Going to be a big-time help for us next year. Houston Bird. Colton Lee. Colton got immensely better this spring, so I can talk about the spring now that I normally wouldn't get to talk about. But he's another solid kid, comes every day, gives you everything you want. And I mentioned earlier that I had a good season because I had kids I didn't have to worry about, and he's one of those guys that's a model of that. Shows up to school every day, does what he's asked to do, doesn't get in trouble, gets good grades, yes sir, no sir, shows up on time. Just one of those people that when you look at him, you're not going to worry about what he's doing. Is he doing the right thing or the wrong thing? This guy's going to be doing the right thing. He showed me some ability this spring at linebacker. That's probably got him right now penciled in at one of the starting spots. So whatever he did last year, it worked. The carryover was there. He works extremely hard in the weight room, and we just got to get him bigger and stronger, and he's going to be a really good player. Colton Lee. One thing that COVID did not allow us to do this year was 7-on-7. If you don't know what that means, is we literally go out and we have passing tournaments. where we only throw the ball on offense and we only play pass defense. You play with helmets and jerseys. We will get to do it this year. They've already told us we're going to be opened. And when you're a running team like we are, you really need 7-on-7 because it allows your defense to get work against passing offenses. And Coach Cole and I specifically schedule some teams to throw against so that our guys get enough reps. I only say that because TK Braxton got put in a really, really bad spot this year. He was a first-year starter at corner. He didn't get any 7-on-7s, which would have given him a lot of practice against some really good competition. And in the first game of the season, we're going to play the state champs. So we're basically throwing a guy in there saying, do your best. And this guy came through with shining colors. TK's got a natural ability to play the pass as well as anybody I've ever coached. He's got recovery speed that's unbelievable. He's got a knack for the ball, and he's just a sponge for knowledge. This year, I completely expect this guy to be a shutdown corner. I just feel like people are not going to be able to throw the ball on him. And after he got through the first couple games this year and got his confidence up, you could see the light click, and it really came on quick and bright. But this guy's going to be a superstar for us in the coming future, and I am really, really excited about having him for 2 more years. TK Braxton. Juniors. All right, our first junior is Captain America himself, Joe Gallo. He grew his hair out, and I said, I don't know, maybe you switch from Captain America to the Winter Soldier. Joe's one of my favorite kids I've ever coached. He is a work ethic guy who just comes with his lunch pail ready to go and get after it. He was our starting center this year, and we had a really, really good offensive line. So for him to crack that starting offensive line was a big help for us, and we knew we had the right guy out there. You got to have good offensive linemen, but you have to have a special person at center. They're going to handle the ball every play, and they've got to get it done. And there can't be any excuses, because if you fumble the quarterback center exchange, you're going to get beat. Just that ends that story. I don't care how good you are. If the quarterback doesn't get the ball from center, you're not going to win. And we put all of our faith in this guy, and we knew he was the guy to take that position and do great with it. And he did. He did an exceptional job. I played a little bit of defensive line for us, and that role will magnify this coming year immensely. But Joe's one of those guys that, once again, you don't have to worry about. Great attitude, positive leader. He's going to be the vocal leader and focal point of this coming season, where we'll go as Joe goes. He had a great junior year, and I know he's got great things in front of him, and I can't wait to watch him have a great, successful senior season. Captain America, Joe Gallo. Andre Johnson. Andre is a 2-year starter for us. He started as a sophomore, and this guy's got the ability to track the football like nobody I've ever coached. He gets after it, goes off the edge, and when he's blitzing, you better have 2 people to block him, because one's probably not going to get it done. Andre's on the verge right now of breaking a school record for power planes that's been standing for 10 years. And I'll give you a little bit of insight as to what this guy's potential is. The power plane is where you take the bar off the ground and you flip it up and put it to your chest. And most coaches would tell you that it's the ultimate football lift, because you have to use strength, power, flexibility. Everything involved in football goes with the power plane. The record that we have is 305 pounds. I don't know if you've ever tried to lift 305 pounds off the ground, even an inch, but imagine throwing it all the way up to just about your chin and holding it. Andre got 300, and I'll tell you, the guy that got 305 weighed about 320 and was about 6'3" when he did it. And Andre's about half that size, and he's sitting at 300, so we got about 10 more pounds to go. We are going to max tomorrow and Tuesday, and my fingers are crossed that this young man takes the name off the wall and replaces it with his own. But with that, he's got what they call twitch. And that's the word you might hear on the NFL draft, you might hear it in college selections, but that's the ability to just pop, just explode. And Andre's got an explosiveness that you just can't coach. And when he does the power clean, he just brings it up, and it's just real easy, effortless. He's an aggressive player, he's an intelligent player, he's a sponge for knowledge, always wanting to get better. And with everything in my heart, I can tell you this is one of the best that's ever walked through the door of East Jessamine, Andre Johnson. Logan Williams. Logan is a 3-year starter. He actually got started as a freshman and did amazing things there. He's an absolute bulldog, a warrior. This is the guy that they can't beat him. If you're going to beat us, you got to be tougher than this guy right here. He played defensive line and was a man-child down there, even at his size, going against 300-pounders. I just saw him take people and just naturally whip them this year. Logan comes after the football relentlessly, just like I mentioned with Andre. Just plays defense wide open. We're going to have to move him to linebacker this year, and I've got all the confidence in the world that if our defense is based on what Logan Williams does, then we're going to be a really good defense. He flies the ball. He's talked to me about playing fullback. We're going to work on that as the season goes on. Logan, I'll also throw out there as a tremendous baseball player. If you ever come watch us play baseball, there's probably a good chance he's going to hit one out of the park. And he may talk smack on the way around the bases as he does it. And I love it. I get the stories every day about him hitting a home run and kind of rubbing it in the other team's face. But he's probably our best baseball player. But great kid to coach, comes to work every day, never questions anything, just gets after it. And going to be one of our big leaders next year. Logan Williams. Bryson Hubbard. I think Bryson plays every sport they offer at East Jessamine. So I haven't seen him much this year. Do you swim? Are you on the swim team? No, okay. Just baseball, basketball, football, which keeps this kid busy. Bryson's a great kid, and he's got a lot of potential in the offensive line. I come to the baseball games and watch him. Actually, I watched him play his heart out in the West basketball game this year. Was super proud of him. I was in the stands pulling for him. He was in there banging against those little basketball guys, and it was kind of awesome to watch one of my offensive linemen shove around a bunch of basketball players. That one kind of made me smile and giggle a little bit. You had fun. I know you did. I saw that big smile on your face. Bryson's an offensive lineman that could really, really help us this year. I think he's got a big future. He's got really good feet. He's also playing those other sports. And he's got some experience. He's played since his freshman year and done a lot of good things. Big future for him. Bryson Hubbard. Cameron Shilfarth. Cameron was one of our 2 kickers this year. Did a lot of kickoffs. He's going to be our main kicker this coming year with a lot of potential. Another one of those just great kids. You know, if you're picking people out there that you want to have on your team to hang around your kids, this is one of those guys. Great attitude, very intelligent. Sky's the limit for what he can do. I've seen nothing but improvement this spring in his ability to kick the ball deep. His accuracy's always been phenomenal, and I have no doubt if this guy wants to kick in college, he can. Cameron Shilfarth. As seasons goes, you remember just kind of odd things. And one of the things that I'll never forget about this season was Jaden Ramey getting his first catch in a varsity football game. And I say that because I was excited for him as he was excited for himself. And Jaden caught a pass, and it wasn't a game winner, it wasn't a touchdown, but it was a monumental moment. That it really meant the world to him, and I knew what it meant to him. When I first met Jaden, he came out for Jaguar games as an 8th grader, and his mom's standing right down there, she'll remember this. And we were playing some games, and he's getting beat around like a rag doll, and they are dumping him and knocking him down, and he keeps getting up. And I'm looking at him, and he's kind of beat down. I'm thinking, oof, I don't know. This kid's, he's up against it. He was real little, didn't weigh anything. And so he kept coming. And one thing that I'll say about Jaden Ramey, he's got that fight. He's got that bulldog fight that he's going to keep coming after you, keep coming after you. And if you knock him down, he's going to get back up. And quite often it reminds me of Rocky Balboa. He just keeps getting up off the mat and coming after you. And from that, I can really, really appreciate this kid. He's worked himself into a starting position on our offense. He does a great job. He is 1,000% all in on football. And you know that he's going to give you everything he's got. He's been a pure pleasure to coach, and I know there's going to be a lot more catches his senior year than there were his junior year. But I'm really looking forward to having him. This guy's going to be one of our big leaders next year. Jaden Ramey. What was your name? All right, this is Taji Jackson. I'm gonna be honest, this guy got hurt, and it really hurt. And that ain't Taji's fault. We've talked about it, we've cried about it, we've had that man-to-man talk. But through 2 games, we were rolling, and this guy was healthy. And when he wasn't healthy, it really, really hurt us. And that's nobody's fault. And that's why I told you when we let in that wins and losses sometimes are not necessarily relevant to how good your kids are, how much they're trying. But when your best player gets hurt, then it hurts you. It really does. Taji has got as much potential as anybody that's ever come through this school. I'm trying to do my best right now to get the Division I schools to look at him. He's got everything you're looking for in a Division I athlete. And I think that the sky's the limit. I think this guy could be a Mr. Football candidate senior year. I definitely think he could be a first-team All-State candidate. And he's another one that's just killing it in the weight room right now, giving it everything he's got. He squatted 545 the other day. I don't know if you've ever picked up 500 pounds, but this kid squatted all the way down to a bucket with 545 pounds on his back. He's got everything you need, great attitude, very aggressive on the field, but very polite off the field, exactly what you're looking for. And we'll go as he goes next year. Taji Jackson. All right, one more big round of applause for our junior class. All right, seniors, come on down. All right, seniors, instead of giving you all like 15 different things individually that you wouldn't be able to hold, we have gone on and given you everything that we're giving you today in that bag behind us. So when you get done being talked about, and we talk about all of you, don't do it until we do everybody. I want you guys, before you go back up, to grab your bag, and it should have everything in there, okay? And I'm talking locker tag, you're getting a sweatshirt, it'll be Christmas morning. I'll let you guys figure it out, all right? A bunch of banners, all kinds of stuff. All right, our first senior is Xavier Estes. Xavier's been a 3-year starter at offensive guard. I've had many people tell me that our team was kind of predicated by our offensive linemen and specifically our guards, and I believe that to be true. Xavier had a tremendous senior season. Unfortunately got hurt in the last game, and that did hurt us in the Harlan County game. But another warrior that I knew he was going to give it everything he had every week. I've had him in class. He's just a lovely person to be around, just a wonderful kid that is going to be a huge success in life, and I know that he's going to make all of us proud someday. He's going to be missed on this football team for his leadership and his effort that he gave, and I know it's a big, big hole to fill. Xavier Estes. Caleb Fleckenstein, we had a good laugh the other day, and how many different ways Fleckenstein has been butchered. When he was in Bath County as a freshman, they called him Feckelstein, and so I've had a good laugh out of that. He's always taken that in stride. Caleb's a very intelligent player, was one of those guys that really made our offensive line go, and that's one thing that I can't emphasize enough, that as good as you have to be athletically, intelligence plays a big part in how good you are at football, and we had a very intelligent team this year, which was frustrating that we didn't win more games because we had a lot of pieces there that you don't always have. But Caleb is just an amazing kid. He's been one of my favorites to coach. He's got the same personality every day, 5 days a week that we're out there practicing. gives you an honest effort every Friday night, never complains, never came out of the game, always took things in stride. When bad things happened, he kept coming. And I'm really glad that if I had to go through a COVID season, I went through it with this group of seniors, because they were very, very easy to coach and came every day with that right attitude. Caleb's going to be whatever he wants to be in life. He's got it all. He's got the work ethic, the intelligence, and he did have a great career here. He's going to be very, very much missed. Caleb Fleckenstein. Jonathan McGran, I have literally watched this guy grow up since he was about the 6th grade. I've known Jonathan longer than Jonathan's known me. Played linebacker, and he's another one that injuries have kind of just slowed him down. He's had some knee injuries down through the years, and not all of our injuries were this season. Some of them were before, and then they kind of lingered into the year and it hurt us. But Jonathan played that linebacker and was one of our best defensive players this year. And I know if he hadn't gotten hurt a few years back, he could have been a dominant dominant defensive player for us all season long. Gave it everything he had, brought it to A effort. And I know he's got a big future. He's got a great personality. He's an easy kid to coach, and it was a lot of fun this year. Jonathan McGran. Donovan Motley. I've had more people who don't know anything about East Jessamine football who might come to watch one game ask me about our running back, and they were never talking about Taji. They were always talking about Donovan, because he would always get loose, and he was twice as big as the kids who were trying to tackle him, and quite often, if you watch real close, they weren't really trying to tackle him. They would kind of run the other way, or they'd magically fall down, or they just couldn't get there, and they were kind of scared of Donovan, and I kind of understand why. Donovan has, and I've been doing this a long time, is one of those kids, and I think you always have to listen to your players. And we tried to play him as a lineman his freshman and sophomore year, and he'll tell you this, he was terrible. There's just